you were an infantry officer.
It's a good way to start.
I know, but it gives you that sort of, that's what you were.
You should sit up straight, shouldn't it?
We talk about that loads with the cameras and everything. We're like, how straight do we sit? But tell me a little bit about your background and I guess what you're on to talk about today.
Okay. Well, I mean, the infantry officer thing was national service 2 years, 1983, 1984, South African Defence Force. We all had to do it. But what am I here to talk about today? South Africa, what's going on? Because the reality is most people don't know. They kind of have this fuzzy feeling that apartheid ended all the time back, 30 years ago. Nelson Mandela took over and the problem was solved and everybody's happy. Well, that isn't the case.
And this was something that obviously Trump kind of brought to national headlines. Isn't it funny how we don't seem to know in other countries anyway what's going on around the world, and then someone brings that up? As you say, I'd heard sort of fuzzy inklings of what's happening in South Africa. I mean, how? I guess I want to know a little bit about the demographics.
Yeah,
it's hard to imagine. I think one of the countries that sort of Britain went to and the Dutch went to, and it's sort of a white country we think of, but it's not, is it? I mean, percentage-wise.
It certainly isn't today. So today, of the population of 60 million, 7% are white. Another 7% are coloured, and that's our definition. It's a mix of white and whatever else. And then there's probably 2-3% Indian and other. The rest are black. But within the black grouping, there are 26 different tribes, all speaking different languages. And the Zulus and the Xhosa are the two biggest by far and the best known. But then there's Vendors and the Tswana and the Sutus and all the others. And within the white tribes, there are the English speakers and the Afrikaners. And the Afrikaners are about 55-60% of the whites. And the Anglos, made up of everyone else, are the rest.
And it's misleading, this Afrikaners word, because I think most people think that that's the black people.
No,
Afrikaners, Afrikaan in the word.
No, Afrikaner is white.
Yeah, and they're the Dutch white.
Exactly. And the fact that their names are Afrikaners, they're people of Africa, the Dutch tribe of Africa. And they have been in South Africa since 1650. And if you think the Mayflower got to America in 1620, and the Afrikaners or the Dutch Huguenots that escaped persecution in Holland, most of them and French Huguenots went to South Africa, and they formed the backbone of the white tribe of Africa, to which I belong. But I'm an Anglo. So my family came on my mother's side 4 generations ago. Sir Sidney Ralph George Herbert left the Indian Rebellion, moved to South Africa to retire. And that's my mother's side of the family, came with the British Army. My father's side of the family escaped persecution in Russia in the 1890s, Lithuania, England, and then to South Africa. So that made me fifth generation South African.
Were they Jewish, escaping
persecution? They were, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not Jewish. My mother's not Jewish, but I'm definitely pro-Israel, and I'm probably a hardcore Zionist if you really want to push me on it.
I see. Well, maybe another day for that one.
And I shoot straight.
Okay, yeah, well, I know that. Yeah. So tell me what has actually been. It's mostly around the farmers and the murders, and it's basically playing out because I read a lot of Coetzee growing up. J.M. Coetzee, I think he's South Africa's probably most famous writer. Yeah. And there was that book Disgrace.
Correct.
And
what a fabulous book.
Amazing. But I actually felt miserable reading it. It was so horrible. But that's what happens, isn't it? Is that happening? I mean, people won't have all read the book, but what's going on now here in South Africa?
So J.M. Coetzee is one of our greatest authors.
Yeah.
But then there's The Power of One, and there are all sorts of other extraordinary books. I think South Africa's produced incredible literature. I won't go into that. And art and music and poetry.
Yeah.
And headaches for the world. But where we are today is in 1994, white minority rule ended peacefully. And Nelson Mandela's African National Congress, ANC, took control. And they had a vast majority of the vote. From then till 2024, May last year, they have run the country with a majority and run it into the ground. And I'm going to get onto that in a second. And last year in May, the African National Congress fell from 56% to 41%. And the Democratic Alliance, the party that you and I and most of your viewers would probably vote for, probably, I'll explain what I mean by that, have gone from, just running Cape Town to running the whole of the Western Cape, a lot of the metros in South Africa, and up to 22% of the vote. So the ANC was forced to form a government of national unity, a GNU. I won't call it a coalition, but formed a sort of government of necessity is what it really is, of themselves, the ANC, the Democratic Alliance, and a few smaller parties that they threw in together. And for the last year, well, since May, it's been going sideways because the ANC is still basically a socialist, racist, kleptocratic, and ineptocratic organization that has destroyed this country over 30 years. And there they are in government with a Democratic Alliance that is free market, Judeo-Christian, pro-West, competent, and this government isn't achieving anything. And if I can give you one statistic, I won't bang on too long, one statistic that says it all. We are growing at 0.5% GDP. And our population growth is 2%. We're going backwards. We're being deindustrialized. The wheels are coming off.
Okay. So what we might expect from a socialist government over many years.
Well, it's more than socialist. It's incompetent.
Yeah.
And kleptocratic.
Yeah.
So they've been stealing the country to death. And I'll give you just one little example. Take South African Airways. The pride of Africa. Was one of the best airlines in the world, superbly run, well organized, handed to the ANC government as a state-owned enterprise amongst Electricity Supply Commission, a rail network. I think South African Airways now has 30 aircraft. It's basically bankrupt. So the ANC has bankrupted every single state-owned enterprise. We have potholes in our roads, sewage is flowing on the streets and being pumped into the ocean, and there's almost no service delivery in any municipality that is run by the ANC. The Western Cape, on the other hand, the roads are perfect, there's electricity, there's sewage organized.
You've got a sort of a...
It says it all. You've got a Malay
Yeah.
versus a socialist country.
It's
you know?
like a North and South Korea. You've seen those satellite
Exactly.
images at night where
Yeah.
the lights are all
Darkness. Darkness.
East, West, Germany or
Yeah.
something. Bloody hell. And the thing that's capturing people's imaginations that finally sort of brought it to the world's attention is the killing of white
Correct.
people.
And that's where Trump was so smart, because I think, when he and his team thought Cyril Ramaphosa and his motley crew are coming to the White House, what message do we give? And he could easily have embarrassed Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC directly. But instead, he very cleverly dimmed the lights. Do you remember that moment?
Put the video on.
Extraordinary. Put the video on. And the videos of the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, Julius Malema is very hard left, communist free fighters. There's nothing to do with economic freedom.
Sure.
Jumping up and down in a stadium of 100,000 people saying, kill the Boer, one settler, one bullet. And it basically was, the message was to Cyril Ramaphosa, this is happening in your country. Why aren't you doing something about it? Poignant.
What did he say? He was sort of
dismissive.
He
was kind of like a schoolgirl moving in his chair, giggling. And the message was, which is ridiculous, that South Africa is a violent society. Well, why is it a violent society? Isn't the government to blame? South Africa is a violent society, and farm murders are nothing special.